I kind of did the intro right at the beginning.
Yeah, well, we're doing it right now. I already hit record. So, everybody, what's up? We have with us Conrad. It's our new pilot episode. What's going on? Jake, put your fucking headphones on, dog.
Hey, guys.
Everybody knows Jake. He's been on a previous show. We are doing a pilot show. This is going to be more kind of like a date cast with bros. So, like a bro cast with date.
It's kind of like a broadcast but for dating, but we're also going to bring on women, too.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to just be like we said, we don't want to just attack women.
Yeah, we're going to bring all
guys.
kinds of chicks
We're
on,
gonna
too.
We're going to make fun of everybody.
We're going to make sure that we bring people on and we just try make them feel like shit.
You know, I think the biggest thing is let's bring people. Here's the thing: if you're dating somebody, or if you're not dating somebody, and you hate your fucking relationship, or you like your relationship, you want to fix it. That's what we want to help you do. Either get the fuck in, or get your shit, or get off the pot.
All right.
Maybe that should be the name of our podcast.
Shit or get off the podcast.
There we go.
Holy shit.
Okay, let's load.
Cool. Solid. Thanks for listening. Make sure you subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Pass the episode along. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Both these dudes don't listen to my other shows. Peace.
Shut up and sit down.
I just like her music. It gets me right in the
Let's
knickers.
just let Conrad look good right now. Here, we can bend this back, though.
I could use it, fellas. And the audience has no idea what we're about to do.
It's pretty awesome.
Could you imagine if this was our fucking intro, how creepy it would be? How manipulative it would be? Oh my god, let's listen to these guys.
I think it'd be
They'll
perfect
be crying
for this,
by the fucking time of the first topic.
For this dating show. It might be perfect. Real manipulative.
See, but that's what we're trying to get away from. That's what we fucking hate about women.
What?
Yeah, this girl killed it. She goes to my high school, and I was like, hey, just come over and play like 2 songs, and they played 3, so I got a full acoustic set out of them, like an unplugged set.
Right on.
I was like, hey, listen, I'm going to take photos of you guys.
Well, while we got this going in the background, welcome everyone. I'm Conrad, host of the Pro Edge podcast. Across from me, the host, Tim Meyer of Channel 99 Studios. Next to me, Jake Panzeri, a guest of the Pro Edge podcast, and now the host of a new dating cast that we're doing. To be named, we're just running it under Pro Edge podcast right now. We had a guest, Christine, coming in, but she got sick, so she had to reschedule. So me and Jake are going to wing this one. First dating show with Jake. Just a couple of dick divers talking about ladies.
It's kind of funny that with this out of all the topics we decided to choose on, this is the one that I think is going to be the most fun.
Yeah, and we're going to give ladies like the real spiel on dudes too.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think by the time we get done with this, I bet we have way more women fans than we do guy fans, because we're not pro fucking guy.
So
like,
just
that's
so
the deal.
We can just get a quick basis and touch base. Jake, how old are you?
40. Just turned 40.
Just turned 40? Okay, cool. I'm 37, so we're in that same generation.
Yep.
Tim's just a few years younger than me, so we all kind of have
I'm
that.
like 23.
Yeah, so we're kind of that generation that kind of came up without social media and dating and then had to, step into it.
Oh, my God.
So we've seen both sides of it.
Life.
Yeah.
I actually just decided to not do it. Like, that's kind of been... And I'm not going to say that I'm proud of it. I'm not kidding you. I've literally downloaded the Tinder apps and the Bumble apps. Never once have I actually ever went through the Tinder. Tried a couple years ago. Bumble itself, that's one of those fucking stupid things that you'd message. I bet you I had probably 4 or 5 conversations. This was last year. I haven't done it over a year. And it was so fucking stupid that I was too lazy to even go on the first date. And then after that, I'm like, dude, I just don't want to do this.
It's a lot of work.
And it sounds so simple. And it's like, dude, whatever happened to just fucking meeting somebody and sparking a conversation? And people who do that are just fucking creepers now.
If you do use Tinder, you gotta tell me, because when I did use it, every time, every girl uses the same thing. Oh, my friend made me get on here. Like, what?
I think that's on every fucking profile I've ever seen.
My friend made me get on here.
Yeah.
Sure.
I tell you what, I just think there's a lot of guys that are probably our age. There's a lot of women that are our age that, this age hasn't really always seen this type of dating before, because most people before our generation were always married at this age. We were the beginning generation of the divorced generation. So for us to grow up and finally be single, and not everybody's married, not everybody's in traditional relationships, and not everybody's in traditional marriages, and I have a kid and I've never been married, and it's normal now. And when I was a kid, I remember feeling like an outcast because my kids were divorced at such a young age, like through my entire childhood. Right. And nowadays, it's normal, and it's not a bad thing, but it's just there's a lot of people that I went to high school with, per se, that would say jump into relationships, stay their whole life, and now some of them are single and trying to date, and it's like nobody knows how to do it. And trust me, I don't either, because it's completely different. Because if you basically did not grow up with this computer tech date or the app technology of dating, it's just different. It's completely different.
Yeah, and I always like getting your perspective too, just because you date way different than I do. And then, but it's funny too, because now I feel like I'm starting to get an advantage back with age, right? Because the sex doesn't become as important, right? When you start to get older, it's more like when you're young and in your 20s, man, you're willing to take some fucking risks.
Here's what it is. Think about how much power you just said in that sentence right there. It's about the sex is the power for men.
For what?
In your 20s. For most guys, now granted, this is not everybody, because let's face it, not every guy has the ability to go out and get pussy all the time. So
very true.
Guys who don't have that ability, those are the guys that want to get married and they want to have a girlfriend because they think that's how I get laid. The entire fucking point of the relationship for a guy at a young age is based on sex.
Sex, yeah.
And that's why religious people, they tell you, well, you got to get married first in order to do it. So every fucking guy, the first thing they do for Mormon guys, I grew up with a lot of them, the first thing they want to do is go straight to their mission, straight back and get married, so that way they could do what they're supposed to do in their God's eyes and start having sex. And it was all doing that so they could have sex. Was like, why don't you just go have sex, be responsible about it, and then you'll figure out later on whether or not it's going to work for you while you're still a child. Like, I don't know. I'm different. Like I said, I grew up a little different as far as I would say that I was exposed to some pretty crazy things when I was really young. Just, my parents were kids when they had me, and, infidelity and partying and drugs and sex and alcohol was a pretty when I was like 4 and 5 and 6, dude, that was a pretty normal thing. So
okay.
That's kind of where I came from.
Yeah.
So I would say that I saw it very early on, and I was around it. So I wasn't the naive guy. Like, I got it. I understand. I really understood a lot of issues in relationships, and I've seen a lot. So I wasn't a genius about relationships, but I've seen so much shit through it to where I feel like I have a lot of mileage in relationships. Yeah. And I've always said, when I brought up what we should name this podcast is for those who don't date, coach.
Yeah,
that's me. I'm way better at coaching people today than I would ever be dating.
Yeah, and I remember we used to run around 10, 15 years ago.
Oh, my God.
And it was a completely different world for us. And that,
Hold up. You guys have known each other for that long.
Yeah, we've been boys for a while.
Yeah.
Jake used to come down to the funny bone.
I first met you, dude. Honestly, it had to have been, I was 25, 26.
Yeah, we were young.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was young too. We were out tearing up downtown, chasing.
But I mean, and that's kind of and that's what got us thinking about this. Dude, it's our perspective.
It's that small of a town, even though it's not really that small of a town. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking the other day, and just man, the risk you'll take then compared to now to get on that sugar shelf with a girl.
It's just it's a power thing. When you're younger, dude, you'll do whatever it fucking takes.
Oh, bro, I put myself in some bad situations before.
Oh my God.
So picture this: I'm a young sailor, and I'm stationed in Brunswick, Georgia, at a search and rescue station and law enforcement station. And if you don't know where Brunswick is, it's right next to Jekyll Island and St. Simon's Island. And St. Simon's Island is where all the rich people in Atlanta build their homes, and it's kind of like a little resort area, probably 15,000 people, but some clubs.
Right.
And then Jekyll Island's where they film Bagger Vance. And
That's
so
right. Okay.
I was probably 21 or 22. I'm sure I was a cookie cutter out of a Backstreet Boys magazine or Abercrombie and Finch or something, right? And we're out at this place called the Sandlot or something on St. Simon's on an off night, a Wednesday night.
Right.
And I'm kind of new to the scene, and because I was just so young. And you just don't think about the consequences of what you're doing when you're young, when you're going after a girl. Everything outside of
it's your priorities
of that it just kind of goes to the wayside. So it's getting late. I can't drive. I was with my buddy. He's going off. I was talking to this really cute girl, and she was just this little Georgia peach, but she was with this banger of a girl, bro. This bitch could have played linebacker at Purdue, right?
Okay.
And this is one of the red flags. There were many, but one of them that I probably should have keyed off in my head like, hey, fucko, don't go down this road.
But that's no fun.
No.
That's no fun.
No, homegirl was real sweet on me, and she's like, well, we'll give you a ride back, and blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking, okay, we're going to go to her place, and who knows, so I'm game, right? So the bar closes. We're leaving. I'm walking out, and then I noticed that the car I'm getting into, this shit is like a 1991 Geo Metro. And for those of you listening,
no red flags there.
Yeah, for those of you listening, this was like 2004. So the fact that there was a 1991 Geo Metro still on the road is a fucking amazing.
Yeah, because you can't see those anymore because they kind of just evaporated.
Yeah, and if you don't know what one is, imagine a golf cart with windows. And
golf carts they're more powerful. They'll go faster.
Yeah, and that's a knock on golf carts. In reality, I'm sorry to the golf industry. I just want to apologize right now. So I'm getting in back of this fucker, right?
Oh my God, the humiliation.
If you could imagine, this is.
I've got a Geo Metro story for you.
Well, hold on. So the chances of these two chicks both being drunk are 100% too.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I may get laid. Let me hop in the back of this fucking 91 Geo Metro. So I'm back there like this, right? And I'm just dumb to the fact. Now, we're going across the causeway. It's this long causeway that gets back to the mainland, to Brunswick. And during that ride, like, I'm stuffed in the back of this bitch. They're conversating, and I'm kind of wasted, too, and there's music. Somewhere, something goes south with homegirl, the big girl, right? And she starts getting real agitated and angry, and she starts talking about, no shit, Earl, right? And all that kept running through my head is, remember that Dixie Chicks song, Earl Had to Die?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, bro. Like, right out of the movie, right? So I'm riding in the back of this thing, and the blonde girl that I'm going after is telling her, we need to go up here to go to my place. And the big girl is just getting livid, and she's really pissed at Earl, this motherfucker. And by this time, she's swearing, and, like, the car's literally fucking shaking. So I'm thinking, like, exit strategy now. Things are going south. Now things are starting the wheels are turning in my head that this isn't worth it, bro. So too late, though, right? So this bitch takes a left when we were supposed to take a right, and I got no idea where we're going, right? So she's, at this point, I don't even know what the fuck's going on. And we're whipping around, and we're kind of on the outskirts of Brunswick, and we pull into this trailer park, right?
Right.
And unbeknownst to me, this whole trip, right, it was right in, this bitch reaches around, we pull in front of a trailer, and if you can imagine a trailer park road, right, and like the front, the dining room is like right there. It's 10 feet away from the road, right? So like we pull right up to either the dining room or the bedroom, whatever way the trailer's facing, right? And this big old bitch reaches behind the fucking seat between my legs and got my leg.
Can the viewers see this? This is amazing.
Yeah. So I don't know if they can see it on that camera, but like between my leg, and pulls out the biggest fucking 44 Magnum nickel-plated revolver I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. And just whoosh. And I'm just like, oh my God. And she's screaming at this motherfucker and starts throwing rounds through the Geo Metro. Like, and she's big, right? So big that when she's throwing a couple rounds through this trailer, the door comes open and she kind of like falls out, right? Picks the gun back up and keeps firing. And that was my cue, dude. I fucking wiggled out the side of that fucking car and ran like the fucking wind blows. I think my apartment was probably 8 miles away, and I'm pretty sure I got there in about 20 minutes. Like, I just booked it. Scariest fucking night of my life. All because I thought I was going to get laid with that girl.
Moral of the story, the things fucking men will do to get pussy.
My blood pressure raised just telling the story.
Chapter 1.
Just telling the story.
It goes to and here's the thing. That's why women know, devious women know, that they can control men with it, because for shit like that, look what you're willing to go through and sacrifice until you. And that's so. Anyway, getting back to why we started, that was at the beginning of this conversation, you were saying how much power was women having that, how much you're willing to do. What I was saying was how we're different now is once you learn, kind of like I'm 40 now. Clearly, you don't have the same desire at 40 as you do when you're 20, as far as you wake up and like you want to fuck something 24/7, like 24/7. You don't have that at 40. It's also a huge like lift on you because you're not constantly just worried about getting laid all the time. In your 20s, that's all you fucking care about.
Do you think that's what gets you laid though? Is the fact that you're like not always trying to get laid? Well, because sometimes like I meet chicks and I'm like, to be honest with you, it's nice, it's cool. We had dinner. You're cool and stuff, but honestly, I really don't care to fuck you right now.
Right.
And I think girls are attracted to that because then they're like,
Absolutely.
oh my gosh.
Well, here's
This
the thing.
guy is not into me. What do I need to do to fuck him? And then they try to bang you. And then it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll fucking bang you.
And then at the same time, then you're done. And then all of a sudden, you're like, well, what
I'm
happened?
not saying that's what I do, but that's what I hear.
Right. Asking for a friend? Is that what it was?
Oh, by the way,
Telling for a friend.
I don't think Earl was ever home. And another thing, I never heard about it or read about it in the so how common is that in Georgia? I'm just
Well,
saying.
you did see the laws that just passed,
What
right?
did I
No.
miss?
Oh
I had
my
to
God,
go
they just
grab
passed the
my
fucking-
soda.
She threw some rounds in a trailer out of this fucking hand cannon she had under the seat, bro. And
Who?
she was screaming. This
Who's
big
she?
girl. This big girl.
Oh, he missed that part of the story.
Yeah,
I missed
yeah.
She was
forward.
she was the getaway driver.
Yeah, and the first red flag when I met the girl should have been the fact she was wearing like a Popeye's chicken employee shirt. What she was
Hold
doing
on.
with this
You need to get before you met this girl. How did you get to the point where you met this girl? What motivated you?
Her friend.
How did? Okay.
and she was the ride.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
she was
gotcha.
the ride, and I was in the back of the Geo, and as flimsy as those.
Okay, this is the Metro story.
Yeah, it's-
He
Okay,
he
I'm
was
sorry.
willing to go through all these
I had to
red
step
flags
out
and
and
all.
snag a
How many
soda.
times is God gonna be like, "Hey, dude, seriously, we're just kidding. It's a Geo Metro," and then okay, you hop in, and hey, dude, seriously, she pulled a fucking gun out. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, God's only gonna show you so
And
many
I'm in
signs.
the back, bro. There's no leverage in there. I couldn't get the fuck out. But when that big bitch fell out the door with that hand cannon, boom, I was gone, bro. I was out.
I would say that one thing we should probably do for if we're trying to get a broader demographic for our show is maybe not to refer to every girl as a bitch as we're talking, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I like.
We're
girls.
15 minutes. We're 15 minutes deep. Do you want to restart?
And when they ask you, like, what are your qualifications for the show? You're like, well, I've never had sex with a woman. I'm not quite sure how that works. And I haven't seen parts of my body. And I go in the friend zone often. And
No, I think so. That's kind of the thing.
Do we want to restart right now?
We
No.
can't. We can't if you want. I mean, I'm good either way.
No.
fuck no.
We're 15
good.
minutes in. We're
Yeah, we're
totally good.
He's good.
This is the pilot.
I'm
so
a
fuck it.
producer. So
we can cut out any stupid shit. No, but I
we
think
don't cut anything out. That's the problem.
I think the one thing that we should let everybody know is that this is not going to be one of those podcasts where we just want guys to come up and just hate on women.
No.
We're going to hate. We're like, I hate
hating
everybody, so I'm like an equal hater employee.
Dude,
No,
and there's
like,
plenty. There's
you know
plenty
what? You know what the problem is? Fuck a lot of dudes for messing women up.
Oh, absolutely.
And then those women reflected on good dudes like us. That's what
hold on.
pisses me off.
I'll be the first
There's
one
a
to
lot
say,
of fucking
dude.
douchebags out there who look like what I look like. People look at me and they're like, "Are you a fuckboy?" No, I'm not a fuckboy. I take care of myself and I don't have a bunch of fucking tattoos. Leave me alone. Like, I'm not hardcore. Whatever.
Right.
But there's
keep
a
in
lot
mind-
of dudes who take care of themselves who fuck it up for guys like me and you and Conrad, everybody.
I fuck things up pretty good on my own.
Yeah, he's really good on his own. So,
I'm not.
Let me,
though.
okay, so let me ask you
every
this.
girl I get is scarred, and I'm like, well, fuck, man.
Imagine-
I'm totally going
imagine-
in there already like 5.5 feet under. I'm trying to dig myself out. That's literally where I'm at. Every
Imagine
time.
we're on a plane of dating, and you two are fucking somehow enamored, right? You can't get to the cockpit, and the pilot's dead, and it's my turn to pilot the dating ship. I'm fucking Ray Charles. We're going down.
Like, you guys better figure this shit out. Right. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, I got this. I'll go running up there. Fuck yeah. Thinking I got control, and the next
Such
thing you know,
a good analogy. That's fantastic.
Helen Keller's at the wheel.
No, if anybody wants any validity as far as what we're good at, what we're doing, here's the thing: we're not doing this to try and like hate on men or hate on women. I think there's a lot of people out there that don't understand dating, and I think a lot of people don't want to face the truth. I tell you right now, I've my entire life I've always been the guy or girl. I've always had tons of girlfriends. Not everyone that I've slept with. I know you guys always think I've been a big man whore, but like honestly, I have lots of female friends through my entire life that I've just straight up good friendships. And at the same time, I think I've actually had less guy friends as I've gotten older too, because it seems like guys are just so fucking stupid, especially when it comes to women, and guys get. And not all guys, but I mean, like,
agree with you. I know a lot of dumb fucking dudes.
it's so fucking,
A lot of
especially in your
dumb
20s.
dudes.
And we were stupid too.
No, 30s. Like, these dudes should be old enough to like not be so dumb.
I would agree.
And I can call out so many people in my life, and I'm like, really, dude? Are you really like that old and you're making that decision in your life? Okay, cool, whatever. I'm old enough to also be like, that dude's old enough to make his own fucking decisions. Like, if I wanted to do that, I would probably tell anybody who negates me, go fuck yourself, or come at me with a really good reason. Right. You know? So for the most part, but I was also raised to kind of mind my own business. Like, you're an adult, do your own thing, especially in dating, especially when it comes to women. Like, you're old enough to like be in a position where you should have had, especially, and I'm only 33, but I've been married, I've been divorced, I've been through 2 very serious relationships, like post-divorce, you know, because it's been many years. And, you know, for me, it's kind of like an expectation where it's not an expectation of who I pick, but how I pick. Does that make sense?
It does, but I mean, at the same time, do you have the same... I think the biggest issue that I see with most people that they don't want to face the facts of relationship is people have different goals in a relationship and people don't want to be honest about it.
Every time I have devoted myself to an individual, there has been a certain type of an evolution, and that evolution has to do with personal freedom and expression. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as far as like
every girl I've dated since my ex-wife has opened me up in a certain way, and when I devote myself to them over the the time that I'm with them, and I grow in certain capacities that have allowed me to open up exponentially. And those I've never been in a sour breakup ever.
No?
No. Every single girl I've been with has respected me, and I reciprocate that. And
how many actual, like, and I'm not just talking about chicks that you've banged a few times, I mean like actual relationships do you say you've had? Like people you actually look back and say this was an actual relationship. Because I can honestly say I've only had 2 in my life.
In high school, so I dated seriously a girl in high school. She was a foreign exchange student, and her visa expired, so she kind of had to bail. But I still stay in contact with her. She's a beautiful person, and I've always like thought like, no matter where our lives go, this is somebody I admire.
Right.
And it's nice to follow her and to see like how she's grown. And we've been friends online since MySpace days. So, I mean, it's kind of like, so I'd say her, my ex-wife, I was with for 7.5 years. So the majority of my 20s. And then I dated a girl for 1.5 years. Right after my divorce, a little over 1.5 years, like 1 year and 7 or 8 months or whatever. And then after her, I dated a girl for about, 8-9 months, but I would consider that pretty serious just because if like she hadn't been, so she was deployed. So if that situation hadn't happened, I bet we would still be together today.
Really?
Yeah, just because, her and I were a really good match. And again, I evolve in so many different ways with the people I engage with because I'm very selective. And I know what is going to make me better based on what I think I should improve on myself. And I look for those qualities in people who have those strengths, and so that's attractive at that time.
But let me ask you this: is that the same shit you were looking for when you got into this? Because I mean, it sounds good now that you're an adult and we're like a grown up. But I'm saying, like, when you were a kid and you just started this, did you have the same mentality and this going into that as you do now? Because like that, the way you sound like
it's a good
sounds
question,
like a
man.
fantastic way to sell
it
yourself to
sounds
women.
good,
But I mean,
man.
because I can almost guarantee you there's no way you have the same mentality going into that relationship.
I don't know, dude.
And I didn't either.
Well, I guess the only way I can answer that, like in like a general way, without having to get it like too in depth, is I've always been somebody who's attracted to
minor league basketball
growth. Yeah, I've always been somebody who's attracted to growth.
Oh, that was me.
I just like, I think if somebody makes me better, I'm just attracted to something different, like something that's
okay, but
that I'm attracted to that I'm not good at. Does that make sense?
Yeah, someone that kind of meets your goal orientated and like.
Okay, let's cut down the real shit here. Let's talk about what the fuck you're really attracted to. Because like, while that sounds good, that's not what initially gets you driving. Like, I don't go to the fucking gym going, God, I can't fucking find a chick that loves my fucking hopes and dreams. Like, come on. Like, the whole point of this is to figure out what it is we do wrong in relationships so we can correct that shit. So if you know where your state of mind is when you enter that relationship, say 7, 10, 12 years ago, as compared to like now, like, you know where you're at. Like, you're a fucking confident man. You know exactly what the fuck you want. Did you have that when you entered that? And if not, that's where we find out, because...
No. I don't think you go into any relationship thinking you're going to get what it is you actually get out of it. You know,
men don't.
No, I don't think women do either.
You don't think women go into a relationship thinking like, this is like good for me, or this will like, as far as, or you like, what do you think is
there's different? Right? They're looking for something different, for sure, right?
Different or better?
Well, I mean, from their perspective,
everybody's different, though. Like,
right.
Let's be real, man. Dudes are fucking crazy.
So that's what I'm trying to get at.
Fucking crazy. So for me, if you're asking me this question,
yes.
For me, the way that I would analyze myself, I'm always going into a relationship because I'm attracted to a certain quality that person has to offer that makes me better, and I'm able to offer them something back because
so you're saying
I am not selfish. That's it. And it always has to do with goal orientation. So it has to do with whether they're like, they have a business, if they're a good fucking parent, you know, if they're somebody who's like driven in whatever capacity it is that I am not good at and
right.
I can learn from, because at the very base level, I'm attracted to making myself better in any capacity, regardless.
Okay.
I believe that like my purpose on this planet is to learn everything I can. If somebody can like teach me something and make me better in something that I am interested in, then typically I'm attracted to that. Why? Dude, I'm financially...
That's not what I'm getting at. That's not what I'm getting at. Okay. I'm trying to figure it out right now.
I want to tell you what I want, sir.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Okay, go Conrad.
For it.
Something shiny with big tits.
Thank you for your honesty, Conrad. So easy that was. Like, I realized that you're always, because you're such a, like an intelligent person, that you're always trying to take it to the next level and show like exactly what you're really looking for.
Perfect. That's what
I'm just trying to be honest.
It is,
yeah.
But I love that. But when it gets down to you, when we go out on a Friday night, we grab a fucking drink and like you're trying to get laid. That's not what you're looking for. That's not what you're attracted to. So what you're saying is eventually that's what you want to end up with spending your time with, and but
how do you know that's not what I'm looking for though? Sometimes I could look for a fling, or I could look for somebody who's like, all right, maybe I took a fling home, but I'm genuinely interested in this person,
right.
and they are genuinely interested in me.
But what I'm trying to get at is I'm trying to figure out what it is,
and it works out.
Where on your... Because like I can say that too. I'll tell every girl, oh my God.
But to be honest with you, I'm not going downtown to find that.
No, I know. Here's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Like we can sit here and we can talk about all the things that...
Well, here's what I do, because I kind of know what you're getting to. Like I do the same thing. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this. And like I'll even talk shit with you guys. When I like get out of a relationship, I'm like, bro... Fuck bitches, dude. I'm gonna focus on myself. The gym.
Almost every other Monday morning I see him at the gym, and that's what he's bringing up.
And making money, dude. And then the first shiny thing with big tits that comes walking by and says, "Hey, sailor." I'm like, huh?
You're like, oh my God. So that's what I'm trying to get at is is like what it is, like the root of what you're really attracted to, because you have this thing that you talk about, which is that whole big little soliloquy you just went on, which was great.
Sure, that's what I'm attracted to. It doesn't mean that like I don't have those shiny tits, like just
no, I mean,
being
that's
thrown
not what
in
I'm
my
saying.
face
What I'm
all the
saying is,
time.
but we'll look what, like, when it comes down to it, because when you, like, most people don't want to be that honest about what they really want. Like what it is they really want next to them, because it sounds really good when you say that. But like, and I've told this with married guys.
Well, it's not a soliloquy. It's literally like that's just literally who I am.
No,
like,
and I get that. And like when it comes to, like, I feel like when you're on
but
your,
don't think I don't go out on a Friday night and have fun. Like, let's be
that's
real.
what I'm getting at. That's what I'm
like,
getting at.
I'm
So,
33 and I'm single. Like,
so are your priorities more geared toward just your future and having a good time, getting laid once in a while, and
My
and then finding a
priorities-
girlfriend or a person who's been in your life with is like kind of out there, but not important. And what I'm saying is, in a woman's life, it is from the day they're fucking they're talking from they're 14 until they're
Yeah.
fucking dead is get a fucking husband, and like that's the way. That, well, I mean, as like a guy who's trying to raise a daughter completely the other way too, to understand, like, I don't want my daughter to have to rely on a man. Like, I'm telling her, if you don't want to be happy, figure out how to take care of by yourself. Like, get happy by yourself. Take care of yourself financially.
Count cards, girl.
Have a good career and be happy, and figure out how to make
Yeah.
yourself happy. It'll take a lot of pressure off your relationships.
Yeah, and Prince Charming doesn't exist.
No, and I
think-
told her that.
and
I told her
never.
that. Yeah. And she
think-
gets
never.
it.
I think that's why part of the reason I think when there's breakups and stuff, or it gets a little vindictive, I think women way have the edge. Because
Oh, absolutely.
they have some.
All they have to do is get dressed and go look hot and get attention, and they can get dick as soon as they want. Guys can't do that. They
Yeah.
can, but not like women can.
So what was your actual question that you were asking?
My question
me?
was trying to get to the root of what you're like. The whole point, what we're trying to figure out is it needs to have a concept and idea. Is trying to figure out what our issues are with dating and being, because trust me, I'm fucking 40 and single too, so it's not like I'm a genius, but I see a lot of mistakes that people make because they think they're chasing the right things and they think they're doing the right things, and what they don't realize is that's not the right things that you want to be doing that are trying to get you to your end goal.
I
You know what I'm
wasn't trying to paint this whole like, oh yeah, this is what it should be and blah blah blah. No, that's what I want it to be, but I am a believer that everything happens for a reason, and it'll happen, and it'll fall into place, and things will just work.
So do you believe?
out.
So you believe like the happily ever after? Like you're gonna have the little white picket fence and everything's gonna be happy and good. Like, is that kind of what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not somebody who's like looking for this like perfect person.
No, but you make
blah,
it sound
blah,
like you
blah.
have no control over the outcome of who you're going to spend your life with.
I just let it fall into place. I'm going to meet somebody eventually.
But do you really want to spend the rest of your life with one person? That right there should give you your answer. Like, because I'm that way too. I'm like, I'll know if I ever meet that person. But as
Can I like answer that though?
No,
Like,
I think you honestly can, because I can.
Let me like kind of sulk for a second and like kind of like.
You want like a
fall
shot
into
clock or
myself.
something?
Give me like
Yeah, like
just like
24
a
second
second
countdown.
to like not sulk.
Let's go
That's
to
like
Conrad. What do you think?
sadness.
Fucking rolling the dice, bro. Who is she? Let's do it.
Yeah, like that's him.
I don't know.
No, I'm
this is the thing. You
But
both
yeah.
We already know
you
this
both
motherfucker
have
falls in love in
children.
like 2 hours, dude.
No, hey,
You both
but for
have
reals,
children.
I'm from a different fucking town. I was raised like this whole shit with some of the games that go on in dating, the threesomes I see going on, the fucking dude. I was raised in a small farm town,
Yeah.
and like some of the shit I see in the dating circle, I'm not attracted to at all.
Right.
At fucking all. I think ultimately I would love someday to have a family and be chilled out, right, and just be having my dreams, but with that person.
So like nowadays, like what? I mean, you have 2 daughters, so like
Right.
nowadays, what would that picture look like?
To be honest, I thought I knew, but I don't really think I do. And I think I'm still learning, right? I'm still learning. And this is kind of this process I'm going through. But I'm getting better about, especially now, lately,
Yeah.
I need to slow the fuck down on when I meet people, the subjectivity of our intellect, how closely we are connected, their background, my background, and just be more cognizant of my surroundings when I make decisions. Now I've been on a few dates lately, and red flags that I used to just ignore, I cede to pretty quickly now.
Yeah.
If I hear anything about, I was kind of talking about the one gal talking about sex and controlling men.
Yeah.
Fuck, bunk. I pulled the parachute on that, bro. Like, I ain't even going down that road.
Right.
But the woman that's got to do that to a dude, she's obviously been scarred, right? And that's a
Right.
problem, I think, when you date in your mid-30s, right? And I've been in relationships and fucked them up and made women jaded.
Oh, absolutely. We all
For
have.
sure. So now I'm...
Sorry if you're listening. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's tons of them out there that I've heard.
and you know, vice versa. So you start dating this gal,
Right.
and she's been ran the fuck over 6 times. You know, you got to be super careful when you get together because you've both been ran over, right? You're both jaded when you're at that age.
Oh, yeah.
And you're bringing that in reality. And I think those are tricky waters to navigate, and I got to get better at that, you know, and I'm self-aware of it.
And
sure.
I honestly, I mean, dude, I think that's one thing that even I do too. You just get to the point where you're so used to your own ways and doing your own thing when it comes to dating. It's not always that you're right or you're wrong. To me, it's just, I think it's about whether or not how much like time and effort you want to put into a situation.
Yeah.
And I'm yet to be in a situation that I really, and it's not that I haven't met some great women. I've met some great women that I've liked that just haven't liked me. I've met some fantastic women that like me and I didn't like them. So, but I know almost immediately after hanging out with the time, like I'm not, like 10 years ago, if I would have went on a date with a chick, I probably would have hung out and fucked her regardless, you know, if she
Right.
really is cute. Nowadays, I won't do it. And it's more or less, it's actually because not just because I don't want to put the effort in. It's more or less because I don't feel the need to just go hit it
Kind
anymore.
of a pride thing. I don't know. For me, I'm like, why? But why would I have to go like have sex with the chick? Like,
but I mean, like when in your 20s, like you just did. I mean, I did.
well, yeah, it's a primal instinct at that point,
Right. Yeah.
you
and so
just
it's
wanna
like
fuck.
older. I mean, I went through a
As you
phase
get older,
where
you're
it's
like, man, you're kind of just like an alpha male at that point.
and that's where I'm at now, where it's like
Yeah.
I don't. That's what I was talking about earlier about having that power. When you finally feel the freedom and having that power of knowing, hey, I don't have to wake up every day knowing I have to go get some pussy today, or it controls my life or makes my decisions for me.
Another thing I see dudes do that I'm good at not doing, and I've never wanted to go down that road, is to falter a friendship on false premises and try to earn someone's love or try to falsify yourself to get a relationship that you want.
Isn't that what Instagram is for?
Well,
oh my God,
it's tricky, right? Because a lot of times you want to sell yourself as this person, right? And I think you got to be super careful. And then just the type of delusion that I've seen people put themselves in
Oh
to
my
be
God.
to try to get something
just to lay the facade. Dude, I've said this ever since I was a salesman for years. When I haven't had a job in quite a while, but I used to be a salesman, and one thing I always knew, like a big tactic in sales, was under promise, over deliver.
Right.
It's the same thing in dating. Like I see these people and they jack up their Instagrams with all these pictures, and they look so good, and they make it look like they're $1 million fucking dollars. And when it comes down to it, they've set this bar so high. When somebody meets you, they're thinking, oh my God, it's just slowly downhill from here, because they had this idea that you're so much more because you made it look this way. Where for a lot of guys, you're almost better off just setting the bar low, and that way it's all uphill from there.
Yeah.
It's like, and it's the same thing in sales. Like if you tell a woman on a date, like I have this and I got all this different stuff. Well, what happens when you start not having that shit?
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, what happened? But if you don't ever promise that shit and you never say it, and then you start doing it, it's like, oh wow, it just keeps getting better and better and better. And it's the same thing as a sales tactic.
Yeah, and I've been friend zoned before and had them. When you're friend zoned and you're attracted to someone and you're trying to get to them.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore, but there was a time in my life I would try to still, hey, if I hang out long enough, maybe she'll come around or whatever. I got no desire to do that anymore. And then, if you think about it, you're really just fucking yourself up when you do stuff like that. And so,
you're lying to yourself.
Exactly.
You're just as stupid as the naive young girl that when an older guy's trying to hang out with you, they're hanging because they want to be around you. No.
And then then you got to think to yourself, okay, well, if they weren't attracted to you in the first place,
right? You're just
how
filling the
are
slot.
So I decided to myself, like, I don't have to do that anymore, and it's a relief.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think with age, your mentality starts to change, because really that power, you start to get it back little by little.
Absolutely.
With the sex thing.
And I think,
I'll
be honest with you, I'm a major advocate for people not getting married until they're like into their 30s. I mean, women shouldn't even think about getting married, I don't think, or having kids before, like until they're at least 25. guys, most of them don't grow up or get their shit together till at least mid-30s.
Right.
And that's, to me, is when I think people should really start settling down and getting married, because that's when you're talking about spending your life with somebody. And I know motherfuckers my entire life that they are not the same person at 18 as they were at 35 or 40.
No, not at all.
And at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with somebody changing their mind, or if they were in love with somebody in your teens and then you're not when you're 40, like, you just change your mind. It doesn't make you a bad person. Like, people shouldn't be, looked upon bad because they got divorced or changed their mind. It's like, it should be more acceptable nowadays. Like, it's 2019.
Right.
Exactly. I don't know. I think divorce is a good thing, because I think a lot of people make a lot of stupid choices when they're young. And I mean, I put it this way: I grew up in a family that if we didn't have divorce, like, it would have been miserable, because my parents got married had us when they were 16.
Oh, geez.
And they were fucking kids, and they were, party kids and drug addicts. And it was just like, that's what it was. It was the 70s and 80s. So, once you grow up and then you grow out of that phase, you become a better parent. And, me and my dad are like, we're extremely close.
Yeah.
And we talked about that all the time. One of the things that just made me a better parent was just the fact that he constantly told my entire life all the mistakes that he would make, and we're super honest and super close about it. And I had the same type of relationship with my daughter. And I don't have that type of relationship where it's like, well, I lie to her, try and scare her, use scare tactics to keep her from doing shit. Like, I tell her the truth.
Yeah, that's what I'm pretty real. Mine are still pretty young, but as they get older, like, I'm not pulling any punches.
Here's a story for you. Most of her friends, and like I said, she's only a freshman. Most of her friends tell me things that they don't even tell their parents. Like, one of her best friends, I know that she has a boyfriend, and she won't even tell her parents, because her parents, like, tell her you can't do this, you can't. And they use the scare tactics where you can't. And it's like, my daughter sees what it pushes her to do, and she knows. I said, you can do whatever you want. There's consequences to what you're doing. And I'm going to lead you in the right direction, but ultimately it's your decision to make.
And when you cut that dialect off with that kid like that, so what you're telling the kids are going to do their thing anyway. They're kids, and they're going to lie if you cut that dialect off.
Yep.
So instead of being open and talking about it, now you got your kids bullshitting you.
My daughter doesn't lie to me, and she knows it. Like, that's how close we are, and she sees the mistakes her friends are already making, and I'm like, she's seen. I mean, our family grew up. We had fuck, dude. My mom's side, her entire side all had young kids, and it was just our typical poor white trash family that just everybody got young, like knocked up young, and I've exposed her to that, so she sees that. So it's not that it's like per se a bad thing, but it's like, this is what happens. It's a reality check. Like, hey, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, you scare tactic. Like, this is the truth. This is the facts.
Yeah.
If you do this shit, you're going to watch your friends do it, and I'm telling you, just sit back and watch. And she doesn't want anything to do with it. And I give it up for her. Like, she's going to be a good person.
Tell a man's 34, don't talk to him.
No, I've told her. I said, hey, like, I told her and a friend, I'm like, look, boys are dumb. Okay, it's just so fucking stupid in high school. Like, and I was the same way. I just want to hump everything when I was in high school. Like, that's what boys do. So if you're the kind of boy that can smooth talk your way into a girl, and they can do it, and it's easy, it makes it really fun in high school and through and that's kind of what it was for me. Like, I didn't want relationships when I was young. I wasn't around relationships that were functional when I was young.
Yeah.
I was around infidelity and partying, and I was like, okay. And then I found out getting pussy was fun and easy, so that's all I wanted to do. And I had no business being in a relationship when I was younger, because I just didn't. It wasn't something that I wanted. And then I fell in love at a young age, and I mean, I cheated the entire time through my first relationship, and and it caused me tons of issues. And not to mention my ex, who, I mean, I know it made her crazy.
Yeah.
And granted, we were kids, and it was, we're adults now. We get along great, but it just goes to show you, like, I went through that shit. I did all the bad shit, and I experienced it. And at the same time, that's why I'm a lot better when I actually do get in a relationship now, because I don't feel the need to go out and fuck 100 women.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what I mean is about having the power. Is like, I don't feel that desire. I don't feel that need. Yeah.
And we're in a different world too. First off, I think most younger guys are pussies because they've never had to talk to girls.
Face to face, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they don't even know how to do it.
Just because of the internet.
Yeah.
So they're
like, if you're good on social media and sending emojis and your game is strong, like, dude, you can get laid. I'm retarded on that shit.
And then on the flip side of that, I think the attention that women can get is fucking insane.
It's instantly. It's instant.
And it's constant.
Think about that. If you're a woman to where you're in a relationship and your boyfriend did something wrong, you want to break up with him, you can hop online and post a sexy picture and get
you need
instant
someone.
gratification.
You want to bitch about him to someone?
Yeah.
You'll get 8 dudes saying, yeah.
And here's the thing: what if it's your fault? What if you fucked up and it really, but yet you're just being enabled and getting all this attention, thinking you're right, and really you're the fucking dumbass who did something wrong, or vice versa.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it enables people into their own, like, psychosis of thinking, oh yeah, I was right. See, look at all these people that like my picture. I was right. And it's like, nah, you're an idiot. You fucked up. I like to hold people accountable. especially in a relationship. And most people, when you're younger, don't like that. They don't, especially women. Women don't want to be accountable. And like I said, I fucked up. I made bitches crazy tons of times, and I get it. And some people don't change, and some people do. And I think for me, a lot of it has helped me become a better dad, because it made me really learn how to respect women and see women from a different point of view, and realize that like we were just raised in a different atmosphere with women. Like women, when I was young, there wasn't near the opportunity for as there is nowadays for women. Like not even close. Like I told my daughter, like, look, I was a kid. Women like had to get married, and they had to get somebody to take care of them because shit. I mean, women could only vote for a few years before I was born.
Right.
And that's what's crazy to think about.
We still got old white dudes that are.
Oh my God, making the fucking rules for all these. Dude, what happened just at Alabama this week is disgusting.
I know.
It set this country back 50 fucking years. It's just the amount of like brainwashing that goes on in politics to make people like it's insanity. Like anyway, I don't want to get too much on that tangent because it's just more of a buzzkill. But anyway, yeah. Where are we going with that?
I think we got to get off politics.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, dude, I've had a string of.
When did you get married?
When I was 20. I must have been 26 or 7.
And you were active duty when you got married?
No, but I was. Well, so the National Guard's deployment cycle and their training cycle is so insane now since the wars that I wasn't, but I was full-time Guard Reserve and as a federal technician. And then I had drill weekends, and then we had deployments.
I just didn't know if maybe that was played a role with your relationship.
So I was pretty much active duty in the National Guard. Basically, yes.
Okay.
And so, yeah, that all plays into the relationship for sure. That's a fucking... You take young kids, and then you take the strains of military life, and it's just a cocktail for disaster.
Honestly, I can't. That's one thing. Honestly, I wish that they would actually teach nowadays in high school, and I think it's amazing that we've grown up our entire life and that they've never taught people how to even be in like relationships and like what it really is. Like when I was younger, like they never taught anything about like relationships and how to like treat people or talk to people, like nothing when you're young.
No, we kind of learned stuff from like Family Matters
on
TV.
Well, that's it.
They don't
being around
teach you even how to manage
They don't even teach you how to manage credit score.
A checkbook. Yeah, that's what exactly.
It just seems like it just seems like
they don't teach you how
relationships
to
with people play
finances.
such a huge role in your life, and there's not. I mean, why not have? I mean, I get psychology, but psychology isn't a class that you learn like where you go in there, you talk about your life and stuff, and like like learn about what you're supposed to do. And I just think that if you can teach people, like it's not all based on religion. Like we were raised up like to think, okay, you're supposed to go to school and then get a job and then find a girl and then get married and then have kids. And it's like, no, that's not what that's just what you guys were taught. That's what we were taught. That's not what you have to do nowadays.
No,
it's like, I mean, dude, I think the fact that women nowadays can get their eggs froze and, women don't have to feel the need to get their youth fucking stolen and have kids at a young age. It's like, dude, I told my daughter, I was like, man, travel the world, get a career, like,
go
become educated, go live your life. And when you're done and you feel like you've done a lot of shit, you don't feel that desire to go do a whole bunch of shit. That's when you're ready to be a parent.
Yeah.
Like that's when you're ready to settle down and spend your life with somebody. And you don't have to fucking get married at 20 years old and have a kid to feel that in life. Like there's so much better things now that for women, 50 years ago didn't have. Like her grandma didn't have that option.
And what's scary is if you look like, just think of your mindset at the age of 18, the age of 25, the age of 30, but like the growth you go through and like what your goals are and what your really vision of your life is, that changes so much throughout your life.
One thing
it's hard to
I wish that somebody would have went back and sat me, and I do this with my daughter, but tell you what point in life you should be in for a guy. Like I never knew like what point you should like really start worrying about your focus on your income and your investments, and when you should be like focusing more on having fun and like nobody tells you that shit. It's just I got out of school. It's like, okay, go get a job. See ya.
Yeah. Like
that was it. And it was where other kids, and I'm not saying like I was like not privileged or I had a bad childhood, like anything like that. That's just it was what it was, and I just think that if we just educated more kids, like you don't have to go on your fucking waste your 19 and 20 and 20-year-olds go on a mission. Like
right.
You don't have to do that shit. And I think people are just still so driven by religion and letting your religion control your relationships that a lot of time you get jaded on what's probably the most important thing to you. You know,
Yeah.
like, think about how many kids you grew up with that were young, that were, that they sex was taboo. You couldn't do it. Think how many fucking kids went and did it just because you couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, especially kids like Mormon kids. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Sneaking Dr. Peppers at lunch.
Oh, my
Those
God.
fucking bastards. I remember that shit.
Yeah. Not even the caffeine free either. Like, the real
No,
shit.
the real Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper, man. Jolt, remember that?
Oh, my
Fuck,
God.
you caught a couple Mormon boys with some Jolt.
Like that, you could almost get a referral for having Jolt in junior high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
do
was
remember that.
almost arrestable, I think, in most small towns in Idaho. Jolt. Actually,
That
it
shit
probably
was
still
toxic.
is.
That shit was toxic. I did remember that.
Hardcore. Jolt was the original energy drink back in the day.
It actually was. That's
how
right.
much caffeine
But it
does it
just
actually have in it?
I don't know.
like 200 milligrams, wasn't it? It was-
Probably.
it was
That's a
insane.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had more than like every other like Coke and all that shit.
Yeah.
But
Wouldn't doubt that.
anyway,
No.
we're gonna have a tangent here. We need a good topic.
Well, I think that we've got a good one, and we'll just keep rapping on it. But for me, I think if going forward with the show, we want to get Christine on for sure because she's got.
Oh God, she's a train wreck.
Yeah.
She's got some fantastic stories that I've talked to her about, where like some of the dating that she's done, because she's just the perfect little guinea pig because she's been so sheltered in her relationships, where she went from, having one boyfriend in college to getting married to living with him and then getting divorced in her mid-30s and having a kid and being a single mom at like 40 and trying the dating life and just. Oh my God! It's like a fucking deer in headlights. It's a fucking train wreck. But
Just getting played. And
Let's
get her on.
But I mean, but at the same time, like she has so much. She's just the naive girl. She's just so fucking naive.
I'd love that.
And she believes everything guys say to her, especially when they mean it. And like we've had those
but
conversations.
don't they all, though?
Oh God,
They all mean it.
I've told her, and she plays poker. I'm like, you should be better at reading guys because you're fucking terrible.
You're a doctor? Yeah. Sure am.
Yeah, it's just anyway. That would be a fun show.
What doctor do you want me to be?
But I think that's one thing we want to do is we want to try and get, after we get her on, is get other people. Like I'd like to get people that are in a relationship that want to either fix it or figure out a way to get out, because like having a purpose of actually trying to help people. So like by people writing in or having a question or saying, hey, I got this fucking relationship, this chick does this, like that's the kind of stuff that I think that, because it makes it fun, because if we just sit here and talk about us all the time, people are going to fucking hate us. Like we sound like we just hate everybody, and we don't.
No,
we just are real, and we want to get to the bottom.
We just hate stupid people.
Yeah.
Fuck stupid people. Sorry. But
And the
fuck 'em.
games. And the games.
Why would you apologize for that?
Vials
No.
of games.
Yeah.
Vials of games.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like a public service announcement for people who don't want to go out and spend money on a psychologist for their dating. We'll tell you the truth. You may not like it, you may not want to hear it, but you're probably going to respect it.
Yeah, and we can dive into a lot of different angles on what guys tell you, if they're in the zone of the friend or if they're this or that. And then
it's so funny, dude. Women, like, there's so many times where like I've had like girl friends and see their relationships, that their conversations they have with guys they're dating, and see that it's so fucking blatantly obvious sometimes, and girls just refuse to believe what the guy's trying to politely tell them because they just overanalyze it and they always think they know what they're talking about. And more times than not, if girls would just stop and trust me, the guy's trying to tell you the truth, you're just not listening because you think you know everything.
Yeah.
And guys are way more simple than women. That's also, I'm a big advocate for why guys should always date younger women too, because guys are just stupid and immature. So typically you need, like, guys, I would say once you're above about 25, you need to get about 7 to 10 years difference, because guys are just stupid and women mature quicker and they're just smarter.
I think you're right, yeah.
It just is. I mean, guys are just fucking dumb, especially when it comes to dating. And a lot of them, especially if you like...
Chicks are so dumb, though, dude.
No, but they are. But I mean, they grow up, and essentially, like, women typically are the ones
they're all
that do want to
dating
have
like
the relationship.
40-year-old dudes who are like giving them money, so they have to, because they're hanging out with a bunch of 40-year-olds.
If they're doing that, they're going to find out real soon
they're out
that's empty.
hussing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as somebody who's, I mean, I can't remember the last time I actually went on a date. I think it's
Let
been
me
a few
just be
months.
real. I don't think I should have to teach somebody how to, like, get banged.
No.
Does that make sense?
Bro,
Like-
I don't think most of these girls you're going to be teaching much.
Well-
I think they could probably hang.
I don't know what kind of girls you're hanging out with.
I don't know, dude.
Depends on where you're
most
shopping.
of them. The
I feel like
majority of them, they hang.
Tim is such a fucking stud that he just keeps himself on this fucking pedestal. Like, dude,
No,
I can't handle these basic bitches anymore, dude. Like, I need some top scale women.
No,
He
I
needs
just don't
some
have
kinda-
time to teach people.
No, I agree. Ain't nobody got time
Not
for
a
that,
coach.
right?
I think by the time like women hit their mid-30s, they've graduated the bullshit
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
guys that put them through for the most part, and so they're like fucking educated, and they're like the Himmler.
Oh, okay.
I think it
yeah,
kinda
you're
depends
on
on
a
when you-
different
when you
level
enter-
than me. I'm talking like smashing, like slapping cheeks.
Here's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't look at.
I'm not talking like having a conversation with our mouths in like a vocal way.
I just lost my train of thought now. I had a good one there, but Tim stole it.
Yeah, he went dark on us. What's up, the gray squirrel? Pull it back, goddamn.
Conrad.
No, I think what it was.
How about Conrad has had 2 cameras on him all night tonight? How fucking cool do you feel?
Well, I mean, look how good he looks.
He's
What do you
so
expect?
cool.
Yeah.
This fucking hair.
it's
If
purple.
you saw,
It's purple.
If you fucking
He rocked
saw
the purple
the
fucking
photos
shirt.
I got
I
tonight,
just tried to blend it with the background.
you'd probably wish you.
Hey, you know
My
what's-
forehead looks
second
way
pair
I
of
better.
think what's
underwear.
unfortunate though is I probably should have been gay. I would have had my own network. My own
You would have made a
television. I would
really
have been
good gay dude.
Fabulous homosexual.
Too,
yeah.
too bad you
Yeah,
had pussy.
you know what? Fuck it, dude.
Hey, and that minor
Yo.
league basketball team, that was one time, guys. Just one time. Okay?
Get it, dude.
The minor league
Bro,
basketball
if
team.
you had to suck a dick to get us tickets to something, I would fully support you in that.
Oh my God, where are we going with this? Where do we just?
Wait a
This
minute.
just took a
Is
hard
that,
run.
is that how low of a prostitute I'd be on the scale? I'd be getting tickets to what? The CenturyLink Arena? That's what I get?
Boise Music Fest free tickets or something.
That's just like one step
When I
above.
could have got us press pass.
Exactly. Here's some free general admission.
That's,
Bro, I sucked like 3 dicks for that, bro.
that's like one step above like getting Big Macs for blowjobs under the bridge downtown, man.
Yep.
Yo,
You think I could
For
at
a
least get
Big
us like a
Mac, though.
flight to Vegas with a mouth
probably
like
suck
this?
a dick.
Come on, this mouth. I'd at least get us a trip somewhere, boys. Look at this mug.
Let's be
I think we
real.
should
If
probably-
we're ever in that situation, we probably deserve it. Whatever it is, if we're put in a position where we have to resort to that,
The only way out is
then
getting.
fuck us, man.
Man,
Right.
the only way out of this room is we get on those dicks and start sucking them.
Yo. It's all you,
Okay.
Conrad.
It went dark.
Let's go to the next
You
chapter.
lead it.
Let's wrap it up.
I will knight your ass.
Pilot episode 1 hour. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool. I think we'll have. We need to get some people to call in with some questions. Let's get
We
some.
can do a live show. This is the thing. We are live right now. Everybody on Twitch who's listening, thank you for watching. We've got like 13,000 people watching right now.
Nice. You know what we should do is when we get Christina on, what we'll do is send a notification saying, "Hey, we're going to go live in an hour with Stormy D." That's what we call her.
Stormy
Oh,
D.
Yeah.
That sounds like we could pull way more than what I just totally fucking lied about.
Yeah.
We have like 10 people watching.
On Twitch.
I think my mom tunes in. Hi, Mom.
I was about to say, I'm just fucking with you.
Running it
And
on
then you
Google Ads.
just dropped Stormy D. But hey, guess what? I bet if we just throw the name Stormy D out there, people are like, fuck yeah.
That's Stormy D.
Stormy D.
Stormy D.
Yo, I'll throw some Stormy D at anybody.
All right,
All right,
folks.
solid.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll come back with a name and a guest next time,
Yeah.
and more shenanigans as we talk about the
Yeah.
fuckery of dating in 2019. And if you're under the age of 25, actually 30, quit being a pussy and go talk to a girl.
But if you're
But
over
the
the age of
problem is,
18, show your ID
some of
and you
those-
can come in.
Some of those girls, when you go talk to them, they're like, "What the fuck?
They
are
don't
you
even know
doing?
what to do. Yeah, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so creepy. Why are you talking to me?"
That is creepy.
Yeah, I don't know. I quit.
How
I
about
gave
the
up.
weather? You know where the weight room is? I'll check it out.
You guys know what a weight
Scram,
room
Tommy.
is.
Don't give her the weight room bit. All right, folks.
Peace.
We out.